Hey, this is Steven from Steven's Classic Garage. So today we are looking at part 2 of the Kraut 4-point cross member that goes across the suspension components, the lower control arms, to brace the bottom of the frame to eliminate any sort of cracking issues that I showed you there at the horn and body roll. So I talked more about this in depth in part 1 of this series here. So in this video I'm mainly going to be showing you guys up close the finish and manufacturing quality of this component. Also, so in the third video, which will be post-installation video, I'll give any sort of tips and tricks and shortfalls and any modifications that I had to do on the product to get it to fit. That'll probably be this weekend. And then the fourth video will be a review, and then we will conclude there. So this guy is really nice. Let's go ahead and bring it up to the camera for this little part 2 look at the finished quality. So this is if you're also watching the video for the A1 cross member, it is the exact same powder coat satin finish with this textured, industrial style finish. It's really nice. I really like this finish. And instead of the A1 cross member, which I got the scratch indent version, this one has little to no imperfections on it at all. I mean, it has a little, little rubs here and there, but other than that, this guy is pretty much flawless. So really nice quality component here, and really nicely manufactured. So as you saw it there on the ground, it has the two tubes that go across in an X, and an X configuration is extremely strong with these types of angles that you see here. This gives a lot of strength. So that's why I was recommending this guy over the other shorter 4-bar cross member, the $120 cross member, because this is going to cover more area, and it has a little bit more steel weight. Also, speaking of weight, the weight of this product will be in the description, but I believe that it's worth the weight for increased suspension rigidity, and also resisting cracking of the frame to increase the length of the longevity or the lifespan of the car. So yeah, really nice finish. The finish is pretty much perfect, if not for a couple rubs here and there, but the finish is really nice. It's also got really nice big MIG welds. The MIG welds are not as consistent as the A1 cross member, mainly because this is way smaller diameter steel, so being able to weld here and then go around with a helmet on at the same time is not very easy. So I understand where they got a lot of this from, and they did do some grinding, so they ground some stuff flush to help with clearance. Oh, here you can see a little bit of a powder coating imperfection, but other than that, nice big welds all the way around. They didn't take any shortcuts. I don't think it's going to have any issues staying together under high stress situations. So really nice. And also with the coating, the plastic coating, the powder coating, I think it's also going to stand the test of time as well. So as you can see here, really nice welds, and you could tell that the welds are good because if you notice here, it's kind of melting away this piece of metal here. Let me see right there. You can see it's kind of melting away this piece of metal here, so you have good penetration. So usually, if you have nice high heat, this the part you're welding to will start to melt into and then form a part of the bead. So that's really what you want to see. You want to see the material start to melt. and that's when you know you're getting the good penetration into the metal. And you can see here also that the material there is also melting away. So that is good. Welds down here look good as well. So this is another mounting point. This is actually the front mounting point. So it mounts as you saw it there on the ground. So these two, so it actually goes like this, and if you look at it, it's actually curved. I could show you guys right down it. It's actually curved, so it's, if I show you on the ground, right, so this is, it actually mounts this way. So this is how it mounts to the front of the car. It mounts like this. So as you can see, it is curved. So that way it gives you nice good clearance for your exhaust and other components over the top that you want to do. If you did some sort of rear wheel drive conversion or anything like that, you should have some space to work with. So here these two mount. The front is this way, the front of the car is this way. That's where these two mount, and then these two mount in the back at those bushing clips, or those little bushing holders that I showed you in the first video. So it does have that nice curve to it, and it is a pretty deep curve. Any more of a curve and it probably would have compromised the strength because of how the force is transmitted from one edge to the other. So if you start to go more of an angle, you start to lose the strength of the tubing because it's going at an angle instead of straight across. Straight across is the strongest. At an angle you start to lose some of that integrity. So with a slight angle like it has, 10-15 degrees, I'm not too worried about it. But once you start going over like 20-something degrees, you're going to start to lose integrity, and these things are really going to struggle to hold the frame there. So basically at that point, for the weight that you have of this component, you're not going to get all that weight in frame rigidity, in the rigidity of this component. So, and that's really the point, is to have all of this weight help hold the frame together. And this thing is not heavy, so I'm sorry, this thing is not light. This thing is not light at all. So again, the weight will be in the description. So really, you want the most weight. You want the most rigidity for weight of components. So other than that, yeah, so we can see here that they have some little marks here and the same exact spot over here. That's probably how they bent. These are bent down slightly. You can see these are bent down slightly, so that's probably what they did. They attached it something here and over here, and they pressed it down. These pieces are actually straight, except for this middle one. This middle one is bent. I do not see if they pushed it, because you can't see any push marks. But these other ones here, these ones, where's my hand? These ones here, these are straight pieces, and they cut and then welded to a continuous piece. Yeah, so quality looks really good. Tubing is definitely nothing to be laughed at. It's definitely thick tubing, and should provide a lot of rigidity for the frame itself for not a whole lot of weight, because if you did sheet metal to get the same strength as this, the sheet metal would weigh way more to get the same type of rigidity as this. Tubing is really, if you're going for strength, usually the best way to go, if you didn't use U-channel. U-channel is also very good in strength. So that is the cross member for the suspension, the 4-point mounting harness from Kraut. And I'm sure it's very similar, if not exactly the same as the one from Eurosport. But this one's, what, like $40 cheaper. So I would definitely go with this one. I like the look better. It'll look closer to my vehicle. Again, my vehicle is the agate brown on the bottom side of the car. So actually, it's rubber. It's actually rubber coated on the bottom. So this might go really well with that on the bottom. You probably won't even be able to see it. So I'm very excited to install this, and share with you guys any sort of engineering issues or design issues. Again, this thing is relative in 3D space, so they did do cardboard cutouts in order to figure out where everything bolts. And the frame of my car could be messed up at some point, and so it could struggle to be bolted down, and that could be because of my car. So could have some damage. So we'll leave that in mind when we're installing it, that every car is different, and these cars are 40 years old, so they could have a history where this guy is difficult to install compared to other cars. So that's pretty much it in this video. It's kind of almost immaculate condition. I give it a 9 out of 10, I would say. A 9 out of 10 as far as quality is concerned. Really, really nice construction. Really excited to install it in the next video. Alright, so stick around for part 3 where we will install this on the Mk1 Rabbit. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in that video. Take it easy. Peace.